Before the Hittites forged an empire powerful enough to challenge Egypt and Mesopotamia, Anatolia had already been shaped by a far older civilization, one that defined the land's earliest cities, sacred spaces, and political traditions. That civilization was the Hattians. To understand how Anatolia became a cradle of ancient power, we must first ask a deeper question: who were the Hattians really? Long before Anatolia entered the diplomatic and military stage of the Late Bronze Age, before royal treaties, international correspondence, and imperial rivalries linked it to Egypt and Mesopotamia, the Anatolian plateau was already home to a deeply rooted and complex society. Central Anatolia did not emerge suddenly with Indo-European kingdoms. Instead, it developed over centuries through the gradual formation of an indigenous civilization whose foundations were laid in the 3rd millennium BC. This was the world of the Hattians. The Hattian civilization did not simply exist before the Hittites in a chronological sense. It established the earliest known cultural framework in central Anatolia. Its settlement patterns, its political organization, and its understanding of authority. Later, Anatolian states inherited this framework, adapting it to new historical realities. In this respect, the Hattians were not a forgotten prelude to history. They were the first architects of the region's civilization. Archaeological evidence places the Hattians firmly in central Anatolia by the early Bronze Age, approximately 3000–2700 BC, with strong indications that their cultural roots extend even earlier. They were not migrants arriving from distant regions, nor a transient population displaced by later powers. The Hattians were indigenous to the land later known as Hatti. Their society developed locally, shaped by Anatolia's geography, climate, and resources long before written records preserved the names of rulers or dynasties. Modern understanding of Hattian origins has been shaped by a long tradition of Anatolian scholarship, particularly in the fields of archaeology, historical linguistics, and the study of early Near Eastern political systems. As early as the mid-20th century, scholars such as Hans Gustav Güterbach emphasized the deep antiquity of Hattian cultural traditions, especially in the context of religion and royal ideology. In his studies of Hittite religious texts, Güterbach demonstrated that many rituals, divine names, and ceremonial formulas preserved in Hittite archives were explicitly identified as Hattian in origin, implying a cultural heritage already regarded as ancient by 2nd millennium BC standards. Linguistic evidence has been examined most closely by scholars such as Emmanuel Laroche, whose work on pre-Indo-European elements in Anatolia remains foundational. Through his analysis of Hattic words, names, and ritual expressions preserved in later cuneiform sources, Laroche argued that Hattic represented a linguistic stratum fundamentally distinct from Indo-European Anatolian languages. Although the corpus is fragmentary, his work helped establish the prevailing view of Hattic as a language isolate, strengthening the argument that its speakers were not recent arrivals but long-established inhabitants of central Anatolia. Archaeological interpretations of Hattian origins have likewise emphasized continuity rather than disruption. Excavations at sites such as Alajayo, first systematically explored under the direction of Hamid Zubair Koshai, revealed elite burials and material culture dating to the Early Bronze Age that showed no signs of sudden cultural intrusion. These findings were later contextualized by scholars such as Ekrem Akurgal, who argued in his broader synthesis of Anatolian archaeology that the early Bronze Age cultures of central Anatolia developed largely from local prehistoric foundations, even while maintaining contact with neighboring regions. More recent historical syntheses, including those by Trevor Bryce, have reinforced this perspective by treating Hatti not merely as a prelude to the Hittite state, but as a culturally coherent region with its own internal history. In works such as The Kingdom of the Hittites, Bryce emphasizes that the political and religious institutions of the Hittite Empire cannot be understood without acknowledging their debt to pre-existing Hattian traditions. The continued use of the name Hatti for the land itself long after Indo-European dynasties came to power is understood as a conscious claim to this inherited authority. Trade and external interaction during the Old Assyrian colony period have been most thoroughly documented by Klaas van Hoff, whose studies of Assyrian merchant archives illuminate the economic landscape of early 2nd millennium BC Anatolia. While this text introduced writing and foreign administrative practices, Van Hoff's work makes clear that Assyrian traders operated within established local systems rather than replacing them. This reinforces the view that Hattian social and political structures predated and shaped the conditions under which written history entered the region. Taken together, these scholarly traditions converge on a shared conclusion. The Hattians were not a marginal or transitional population, but the product of a long process of indigenous development in central Anatolia. While debates continue regarding the deeper prehistoric roots of Hattian society, there is broad agreement that by the early Bronze Age, a distinct cultural and linguistic identity had already taken shape, one that would define Anatolia's historical trajectory for centuries to come. Taken together, the linguistic, archaeological, and historical evidence indicates that Hattians represent the first clearly identifiable civilization of central Anatolia, one that emerged independently rather than as a colonial extension of Mesopotamia or the Levant. Although the Hattians left no known indigenous writing system, their historical presence is not silent. Their voice survives indirectly, preserved through later cultures that recognized the antiquity and authority of Hattian traditions. Fragments of Hattian culture, names, formulas, and institutional practices were recorded by later scribes, allowing modern scholarship to reconstruct the outlines of an early Anatolian worldview. These traces reveal a society that was symbolically rich, socially structured, and deeply rooted in its environment. One of the most important centers of this civilization was Hattusa. Long before it became the capital of the Hittite Empire, Hattusa was already a significant settlement. Archaeological layers dating to the late 3rd millennium BC show evidence of organized habitation, fortifications, and communal planning. These findings demonstrate that Hattusa was not founded by the Hittites, but inherited by them. It was a Hattian city before it was an imperial capital. The political organization of the Hattians differed markedly from later Near Eastern empires. They did not rule through centralized imperial authority or expansive territorial control. Instead, Hattian society consisted of multiple city-states, independent political units that shared cultural traditions and regional connections. These cities were bound together not by conquest but by shared identity, ritual calendars, and economic exchange. This decentralized system was not a sign of underdevelopment. On the contrary, it reflected a stable and adaptive political structure suited to Anatolia's landscape. Power was exercised locally, allowing communities to respond flexibly to environmental and social conditions. Over time, this system proved resilient enough to endure major cultural and political transitions. Material culture offers further insight into Hattian identity. Excavations at sites such as Alajanhyo, Horostepe, and early levels of Hattusa reveal a distinctive artistic tradition dating primarily to 2400–2200 BC. Metalwork from this period demonstrates advanced technical skill, particularly in bronze and precious metals. These objects were not simply utilitarian. They carried symbolic meaning tied to status, authority, and collective identity. Among the most striking artifacts are ceremonial standards and elite grave goods featuring animal imagery. These objects suggest that animals held an important symbolic place within Hattian society. Rather than serving decorative purposes alone, such imagery expressed ideas about strength, continuity, and social order. This symbolism would later become deeply embedded in Anatolian tradition. Hattian Anatolia was not isolated. Its geographic position placed it at the crossroads of major cultural zones linking Mesopotamia, the Caucasus, and the Aegean world. Trade networks connected Hattian cities to distant regions, facilitating the exchange of metals, textiles, and agricultural goods. These interactions integrated Anatolia into early systems of long-distance exchange well before imperial control. The arrival of Indo-European speaking population in the early 2nd millennium BC did not erase Hattian identity overnight. Instead, it initiated a gradual process of integration and transformation. Hattian cities were absorbed into new political frameworks, but their traditions remained deeply embedded. Later rulers governed lands still identified as Hatti, acknowledging the enduring authority of its earliest inhabitants. In this sense, the Hattians did not vanish from history. Their political independence faded, but their foundational role endured. Later Anatolian states operated within structures first shaped by Hattian society. The study of the Hattians challenges how we understand ancient civilization. History is often written through empires and conquests, yet Hattians remind us that some of the most influential cultures were those that laid foundations rather than built empires. Their legacy is measured not in military campaigns, but in continuity. As archaeological research progresses, the Hattians are increasingly recognized as a civilization of profound importance in their own right. They were not merely predecessors of the Hittites, but the creators of Anatolia's earliest cultural identity. Beneath every empire lies an older world, and in Anatolia the world belongs to the Hattians. Finally, it is essential to understand the nature of the evidence itself. Knowledge of the Hattians survives through later records preserved in the Mesopotamian scribal tradition, primarily cuneiform tablets stored in institutional archives. There is no evidence for monumental inscriptions created by the Hattians themselves. Thus, their preservation depended on later systems of record-keeping, cataloging, and transmission. Bilingual texts in which earlier material was preserved alongside later translations played a critical role in this process. Through careful scribal preservation rather than conquest, the memory of the Hattians reached the modern world. Their civilization survives not as a legend but as a recoverable historical reality. If this episode asks who the Hattians were, the next must ask how they understood the world itself. In the next chapter of this series, we turn to the belief system that bound Hattian society together, the gods, symbols, and sacred order that shaped Anatolia long before empire.